Maharshi's Global Family Chat. News of rising invincibility around the world. This is the news everyone needs to understand how the trends of time are changing towards peace and prosperity. Maharshi's Vedic technologies, transcendental meditation and its advanced program Yogic Flying are being implemented globally. Just the square root of 1% of the population practicing yogic flying together in a group is enough to raise the levels of harmony and coherence in the collective consciousness for the whole population. Enjoy the news of enlightenment dawning for every individual, invincibility for every nation, and peace for our dear world. Jai Gurudev, welcome to Maharshi's Global Family Chat on the 17th of March 2020. At this time of great delicacy in the world, when coronavirus is so much in the headlines and people are worried and concerned for their health and financial concerns, and so many countries are going into lockdown mode, it is a very great honor and joy for us to welcome Dr. Tony Nader, Maharaja Adhiraj Rajaram, the first ruler of the global country of world peace. Dr. Nader is a medical doctor and also a neuroscientist. He has his PhD from Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And Maharaja discovered that the human physiology mirrors the Veda and Vedic literature, both in form and in function. And this was expressed in his first book, Human Physiology, Expression of Veda and Vedic Literature. And this great discovery demonstrates that matter and consciousness are one and the same. And Maharshi was so happy with this scientific demonstration of the equivalence of matter and consciousness. And in fact, Maharshi crowned Dr. Tony Nader as the first ruler of the global country of world peace. So at this time, there's no better person to guide us than Dr. Tony Nader, who is not just a leading modern scientist and medical person, but also the world's leading Vedic scientists, with many, many years working so closely with Maharshi on all of Vedic science. So, Maharajaji, a very warm welcome, and please go ahead and inspire your global family with the best way to look at this time that we are facing.
Jai Gurudev, everyone. It's a very special time, unusual time. Some people call it surrealistic, something we have heard about in terms of world events and world issues in the past, maybe during the influenza of 1918, during, different parts of the world have known through, different world wars and different situations in the world that have moved the entire world community in one direction or the other, or has created an awareness of the need to all of us as a human race, as environmentally concerned and also awakened individuals in the world to realize that there can be such pandemics and epidemics, and particularly in this case, that is forcing us all to, in a way, be inside homes, that our activities we cannot do, our businesses we cannot run as usual, our investments are being questioned, and particularly for us, those who are in the field of maintaining coherence in the world, maintaining the well-being of the world from the level of the true management of nature that happens from the level of the unified field, from the level of pure consciousness, that we have been creating these groups of flyers and organizing group meditations and all the activities that we do in terms of teaching and giving the experience of pure consciousness, the experience of the absolute, which enlivens natural law in its most profound way. We have to face a situation that is new, and that is why I feel we should make some adjustments and be together and think how we are able to overcome the situation and actually maybe turn it around for the benefit of all those who are going within themselves in terms of meditators and people who have learned to transcend, and siddhas and governors, and really take advantage of this time to reinforce even world consciousness, because that is very much needed. And how can we do that? Because we cannot physically be together. And in this regard, I'd like to invite everyone to follow very carefully the instructions of their health professionals, their governments, their authorities on this field of health and infectious disease, and their recommendations. So we do not in any way take it lightly and think, we are not concerned, it's not related to us, or it's something that doesn't happen to us and would not happen to our people, etc. This is an epidemic, and we have to use our intelligence, our consciousness, our knowledge to actually fight it also in the proper way, and without even having to fight it on the outside world for ourselves, we can prevent the possibility of damage that it can create by following the instructions first that we are given from our health authorities in our countries, and even be even a little more than that, and be even more distancing from the outside activity ourselves. What we can do is together do our programs in a regular way at times that have been set or are going to be set and advertised and be known to everyone, so that we have a routine where we can meditate at the same time, transcend at the same time, and also the routine will allow that the transcendence keeps going throughout the day in all parts of the world, which means that 24 hours, because of the time zone differences, it is possible for us to have groups transcending all the time. And this is a project or a plan that is being completed, but to some part it's already done, where we will be informing everyone about the times of meditation in their own local areas, their own time zones. And that is how we can maintain the world consciousness at a very high level. Because of this isolation and social distancing that is being requested, people are not coming to the centers to fly together, and we do not encourage them to come together at this time. There are places where we had large groups of schools, communities, even the domes in Fairfield in Maharishi Vedic area, Maharishi International University, Maharishi Vedic City. They are not able to come together and uphold and maintain the purity and balance that is needed to make people think properly, make the right decisions, and be able to find solutions for this epidemic. So whereas we are supporting in every way the recommendations and the guidelines of the governments and the health professionals by isolating ourselves, we want to use this also to maintain very high level of coherence in the world and in society by being more regular even than ever we have been in the program. I'd like to invite everyone to do their programs very regularly and adjust to the times that will be given to your local governors, national directors, Rajas, Rajeshwaris, and the leaders in society from the international organization that we have, and that will help to maintain very high level of integrity and coherence, and particularly also for oneself, help to strengthen the immune system, to be balanced, and to be prepared for any eventuality. So it's very important that we do our program fully and take that opportunity to do the program in its completeness. And particularly because people are more and more confined into their homes, and particularly in big cities, it's not possible to do, activity outside and have fresh air. It's important to refresh the room, to refresh the air in the room, and to do the proper techniques that we have learned, starting from asanas, which is an important stretching exercise, and to do it comfortably, to do it fully. This is the occasion where we can actually have a full program and use this period as an inward stroke. The whole world is now invited by the situations that are happening to go inward. So it's an inward time. It's a time of silence. It's also the time of transition, because some beautiful things are going to happen afterwards. And therefore, we want to look forward to a grand time that is going to come. And this is why we don't want the fear to be the dominating emotion or the dominating factor during that period. So because we are inside, we have to take advantage of this time to do many of the things that we would have loved to do, to organize our life, our home, our relations, talk to people that we know through the digital media, connect with everyone. And since there is not much activity that it's done, we emphasize that some exercise is needed, even home exercise, and particularly in this case, the asanas program. So we have to follow as much as possible the Ayurvedic also procedures of sleeping on time, waking on time, doing the proper cleaning, the proper abhyanga. And we have our Vaidyas and the Ministry of Health, who is Dr. Merck, Dr. Pisha, and all our great Vaidyas that have come together and created a protocol. And I think, yes, I know that they have done a global family chat in this regard. So we follow all of these instructions and focus a lot on the inward time, the inward value, which is ultimately pure consciousness, experiencing, transcending, experiencing how we can go beyond the surface value in a profound way and follow the routine of asanas, pranayama, meditation, and then whatever program of advanced techniques and Siddhi programs that we have, and advanced Maharishi Vedic science program that we have, we do it in its fullness. And if we are at home and we have time and we are not exchanging things with the outside too much, or driving or going around, then we can even add some meditation, time of meditation comfortably. It's like, we say that when one is feeling ill and not well, one can meditate more. So if anyone ever gets to be exposed to the flu or whatever, the virus or any sickness, then meditate as much as you can. Meditate regularly and a lot, and rest a lot. It's very important to rest a lot. But even if we are not exposed to this epidemic directly and personally, it is an epidemic at the level of society, and therefore it requires even more transcending and more stabilization of natural law. And that is why we can actually, under these special circumstances, do additional meditation. Even if we are feeling strong and healthy, usually we say we do only twice, morning and evening, but we can take it as if it's a rounding program, and you can do more meditation than usual. I would suggest one more program, one more meditation, and adjust it so that it's in tune with those who are meditating in the time zone in which you are. We are planning also to use this time to get reorganized in many things in the movement. There will be a new way of teaching that is able to meet the demand of initiations in these circumstances where there is isolation, that people cannot come together. So all the governors have been called, and we are going to continue connecting with the teachers in the field to structure this system of instruction and follow-up that is possible to do via the digital media and via an app that will be made available to everyone, hopefully very soon. We hope that this epidemic, this problem, will not last very long, but the indications are that there are some things that will linger on, and therefore we have to be prepared and have to be able to continue our initiations, our instructions, even during this period, and establish a system that is impenetrable, invincible, and not subject to these kinds of changes that can happen in climate and transformation in society and people not being able to travel. And therefore, what we have is a new way that will come up of handling instructions of transcendental meditation and checking of the techniques and follow-up. And also of courses. We have many courses that have been sitting and waiting to be taught, and usually they have been taught in the centers, etc. But nature is now forcing us to teach them even through the digital media. And this is almost a blessing in disguise, in the sense that we will have many courses on pulse diagnosis, on Sthapatya Veda, on different Ayurvedic procedures and knowledge about diet and daily routine, and all the 16-hour courses, for example, of asanas and yoga techniques, and many other courses on higher states of consciousness, courses that have been prepared by the university, Maharishi International University, that will be made available to all of us, to all of the general public, and that will help to ensure that we are present with everyone in terms of their steps of growth and evolution in their own homes, in the comforts of their own homes, using the technologies that are available today, and using this problem that is happening and turning it around into an opportunity for growth and progress and success and enlightenment for everyone. So let's make it a period where we can, on the one hand, contribute to support natural law in a sense by awakening the values of natural law, which itself supports us, of course, but it needs to be awake in our consciousness, in our awareness, in our life, so that we can take advantage of it. So there is a give and take, in a way, situation where, as we transcend, we enliven natural law. We call it, we support natural law, but we actually open the door. That's what we are doing, for the natural law to support us. And to support us as a human community is to give us ways to fight also situations like that, to counteract problems that might happen, to allow and awaken in the scientists and the researchers the creativity and bring them and give them the means to find solutions, even on the surface level. But ultimately, the solutions are coming from that field of pure being, and we can actually do it. We can help this. So there will be solutions that will come. Either they come through time and take a long time, or they can come very fast, and they come very fast if there is awakening, if there is awareness, if there is clarity. Then people, when there is clarity in natural law, clarity in collective consciousness, the ideas pop up. People see. It's like the light. If you have light, then you can see what is around and make the right choices. And in the same way, if this knowledge is being enlivened from the field of consciousness, the solutions will come up. The solutions will come up. Of course, we, from our side, we also do yagyas, and we do all procedures that help to directly counteract the situation. And these programs that we have directly counteract the situations. But there is always a means by which this counteracting happens. People find, the solution, this scientist found the mean, this scientist found the vaccine, this scientist thought of this medicine, this thing happened in nature, there is a change in weather, there is a change in that. There are always outside logics for why things happen. But these outside things happen either quickly or slowly, either effectively or not effectively, depending on the world consciousness. And this is our specialty. And we don't want this situation that is happening to disrupt us from offering to society all that is our true specialty in ourselves, in our ability to offer society this. So encourage you all to do your programs regularly, completely in tune with the rhythms that are being established in timings of transcending, timings of flying for the siddhas, and timings of doing all the other programs that we have. And that will make the light shine, the light of knowledge, and that light of knowledge will create ripples of awakening, and solutions will pop up. Of course, people will take the credit on the outside that this doctor found this scientist found that. We have the new transformations that were unexpected, and things became wonderful and great, and we overcome it and go to something very, very great in the future. So let them take credit, it doesn't matter, but we know all the credit comes from natural law to natural law, by natural law, which is the ultimate manager and organizer that is capable of awakening in the minds and hearts and feelings and decision-making of the leaders and of the researchers, the right things that will help to get over this situation that we are going through. So there is reason to be concerned, so we don't take it lightly at all, but there is no reason to panic, because with natural law, everything is possible. And we have that authority from the field of consciousness, not on the outer level. We have things, of course, people can do what they like on the outer level. If you are doctors, you are scientists, you are organizers, managers, then you will do all.
But this was very, very beautiful. What Maharaja was saying, that right at this time, that it's a problem, a very serious problem in the world, but we can use this problem as an opportunity for growth. We can awaken natural law in our own consciousness by doing our meditation, particularly according to the times that are being sent out right now, so that we meditate together in our time zone, and in that way we can have groups of people meditating throughout the 24 hours. And this will awaken natural law, and Maharaja said, we open the door for natural law to support us in this way. And it will also awaken scientists to find good solutions to the problems that we are facing. And we can do this. We can bring clarity into the collective consciousness. Maharaja, yes, you were cut off for a moment. So we were just, we heard up to where you said, we don't take it lightly, but we have the authority in the field of consciousness. So please go ahead.
Beautiful, and it was a joy that you were summarizing. It's very important. Nature wanted us to repeat these points, and you did great to do it in this time. What I was adding is there is reason to be concerned, but we have the power to do something. Let's do it. But there is no reason to panic. There is no reason to panic. Panic doesn't help, and it will not create the effect. So it's been a joy to be with you. This is a message of what we are thinking. We have been meeting with the Global Council, the leaders of the movement worldwide, then with the governors, and we are now, it's a joy now to be connected to everyone who connects to the this wonderful program that Dr. Peter Swan has been leading for so many years with such great success, and bringing all the good news to the world and all availability of all possibilities. So it's a joy to be with everyone. I don't know if you want to add something, Dr. Swan, or you have any questions of any specific value that you would like me to address.
Thank you, Maharaja. Dr. Morris, Prime Minister of the Global Country of World Peace, is with me, and he has brought Maharshi's Global Super Radiance Program chart, which has been available for many years. Dr. Morris, would you like to present this?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Swan. Maharaja was mentioning this program that Maharshi established, his Global Super Radiance Program. And this is a very detailed chart that describes that program. It has been made available to all the Rajas, so they are sharing with their national directors and their governors. And the principle is that in every time zone of the world, that everyone should lift off in their practice of yogic flying at the very same time. So this is, of course, according to the n-squared effect, superradiance effect, that group practice, in this case group practice not in one room, but group practice across a time zone with everyone lifting off at the same time wherever they are, has an effect vastly greater than just transcendental meditation alone. So Maharshi was encouraging this all along, that everywhere there should be lift off at the same time. We can see on the map that beginning from New Zealand, this is what Maharaja was mentioning, that we have the groups beginning in New Zealand, lifting off there, and then progressively, as the sun moves around the world, more and more groups lifting off at the appropriate time in the morning and in the afternoon for that time zone. So as the day progresses, new groups lifting off, lifting off, lifting off, till you get all the way around to the far western side, where the Hawaiian Islands. So, as Maharajaji said, then you would have, if we can follow this program properly, people in the air flying 24 hours basically throughout the day. And this, even though, as would be superior, of course, if they were able to collect in one hall, but even just lifting off at the same time will be very powerful to accelerate the evolution of the world through this time of the challenge that is being faced by the global health authorities. And you can see it has one section that is for the one part of the year when you have a daylight saving time and regular time in different parts of the world, and the other part gives the opposite, where there is not daylight savings time in that section, but then in the far east of the world there is daylight savings time. So it accounts for all of that, and it gives all the countries in that time zone, and then gives the specific times of liftoff, morning and evening, for all of that. And at the bottom there is optimizing brain functioning through Transcendental Meditation City program, showing the yogic flyers lifting up and their brainwave coherence. If we can dive down a little bit, we can see that, I hope. And this maximizing of brain coherence, of course, is what creates the superradiance effect. And so this is the key thing right now. Now, Maharaja has also pointed out that it's nice if the meditators also can do their transcendental meditation practice at this same time as the yogic flyers are all lifting off everywhere, so that can be added in. And even in some places in the world, like in the Middle East, they are now connecting to each other through Zoom calls, and thereby seeing that each other is really actually practicing together at the same time. And there's a very good feeling that comes from that, though, as Maharaja pointed out, it's not that we focus on the other groups when we're practicing, we're just innocently practicing, but there is a background feeling of we're connected to all the neighboring countries and all the siddhas in the other parts of the world. We heard also today from Raja Kingsley and Leslie and Dr. Deepak Baskota that in Nepal they are adding some very special Maharshi Yagyas to the program of all the Maharshi Vedic Pundits there for global health. And the same thing is happening in India. A great effort is underway to increase the number of yogic flying Vedic Pundits doing yoga and yagya at the Brahmastan of India. And also in India, very, very big global health yagyas. They've already begun. They were done for Wuhan. And it seems that Wuhan in China, where this difficulty began, is now on the mend, as it were. So that seemed to be helpful. And now it'll be done for the whole world, Maharshi Yagyas, to improve the health of the whole world. It's a joy also to say that the Rajas, and in all their different domains, are in touch with their national directors and their governors, and discussing how to implement this global superradiance program and how to take care of the health of everyone in the ways that Maharaja has just described during this time. So there's a great attention led by Maharaja through the Rajas around the world and mothers of the domain, and this will no doubt produce a very good acceleration of passing through this difficult time and coming out into a more healthy world. But I must say, already the Golden Domes at Maharishi International University closed down as of Sunday afternoon for this reason, that not to have large gatherings of people sitting close by to each other, which was, for me, kind of a shock, because the domes have been creating coherence in America for 40 years now, and this is the first time in 40 years that this situation has occurred. But we are continuing with the Invincible America Assembly, the connections through a Zoom call at the same time when we always connect. We have done it the last 2 days. And there is, even though the lack of being in the great golden domes, because everyone is really seriously doing everything at the same time, there is a very great peace and silence that has settled over the whole area. So it's just exactly what Maharaja said, that it is an opportunity, actually, to come back into our own self-referral life and focus on our program and knowledge. And even though, some things are not possible at the moment, we can still create a very big effect and help the world get through this difficult time very quickly and come out the other side as a better world. One way I have looked at it also is that it's as if the whole world is going into silence right now. The activities that you see extraordinary images like the Milan railway station with not a single person in it. It's a really amazing sight, what is happening when countries shut down. But it really does mean, again, even those not transcending are having to draw back into their more quiet and home life. And I think the whole world is going through something like that, like a turning to silence for a period of time at least. And then with all our efforts, as guided by Maharaja, using Maharshi's precious Vedic programs in every way we can, everywhere in the world, we'll come out with a stronger and better and more blissful world on its way to heaven on earth for everyone on earth. So that was just my additional thought, and I just strongly recommend that everyone refers to the Global Superradiance chart for their country and then adheres to the times there and really does their program at those specific times as Maharshi designed. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you, Dr. Morris. And Maharajaji, is there any more comment from your side? I would like to summarize a few of the points you brought out there, so beautiful, but if there's anything you would like to mention.
I just want to ask if this chart can be made a digital format or something and sent to everybody, like to all the meditators. And I want to see if we can ask all those who are on this global family chat and all the governors to actually call their siddhas and meditators, even those who have not been connected necessarily regularly to the centers, and ask them to call each other. For example, we can have a system where some teachers call a certain number of siddhas, and those siddhas, they have to call each 5 people or 10 people, and have this kind of pyramid where we can reach all the siddhas that even have been not connected to the centers and inspire them, and even do the same with meditators and inspire them, and have a regular system where we organize these Zoom calls, these connectedness, these courses. And so when they are in their homes, they would still have things, of course, to do. But instead of being constantly absorbed by the outer value and the fear of the virus, how many have done this, how many, where it is, how often I have news, and constantly and repeatedly having the attention drawn out by that, we can have the attention on knowledge and attention on the self, attention on consciousness, attention on higher values, because this is also a very important aspect of the world consciousness. What is the world's consciousness drawn by that? And we shouldn't be overwhelmed by just the news about this situation and the stock market and this company not working and this government doing or not doing and all of that. Of course, we can have this information. There is no harm, but it should be superseded by also a level of thought and activity on the level of knowledge. Inward, of course, is the priority, which is transcending and the program. But even coming out of the program, we join courses, we think of learning, we take advantage of the situation. Prime Minister Ji beautifully repeated and summarized this also, but it's really important to emphasize it and to have all those connected on the family chat and all the governors themselves take action into calling others and inspiring them to meditate at the right time together, and check with them if they are actually doing it, and keep encouraging them to connect with all these activities that are happening. So we can send these Prime Minister Ji these lists of times. I'm sure you must have organized the best way to do it, and also send the recommendations from the Ministry of Health so that people know a few things that they can do, and then also plan for a list of courses that people can join and arrange timings that are in tune with those flying times and all that, so that there is a time for flying and then a time for taking courses and taking knowledge that can be publicized and used and taught through the digital media. So it's great to be connected with everyone. We take strength and courage and the invincibility and invincible power of natural law, which is ourself, enliven that and come out wonderful with a beautiful world in great happiness and joy and maybe new ways of thinking, new ways of dealing with things, new awakening that will come out from it. All glory to the tradition of Vedic masters that have given us this knowledge of perfection in life. All glory to Gurudev and Maharshi and all of those who regularly meditate and transcend, and through their transcending values, through their deep inner experiences, they are uplifting and upholding natural law to be invincible, not only for the individual who does that, but also for the collective reality of our world, for our nations and the whole world. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev. And on behalf of Maharaja Ji, we ring the bell of invincibility for every nation to be invincible and the whole world to be at peace.